Hello again everyone, welcome back to another video on this wonderful platform we call the internet. Now, this is a bit of a light one, but here is my Need for Speed Unbound review, if you want to even call it that, because it's not going to be like a full-fledged review, it's just like me talking about what I like, what I don't like. Well, I guess that's a review anyway. So, yeah, it's a bit late, but I feel I get it. But I wanted to play a bit more of it before I put out the review. So yeah, anyway, starting with the campaign, single player. Let's see. So, for starters, unlike Unbound, unlike like Heat and Payback, which had animated characters, well, this one does too, but that were, I don't know how to explain it. This one has their cartoonified, I guess you could say. So yeah, it's a bit weird seeing all these cartoon characters and effects while the rest of the environment, like the cars and the city and stuff like that itself, look on the realistic side. I don't mind it. I like it actually, but I'm just saying it's a bit weird compared to what we've had with Payback and Heat, where everything looked the same in terms of realism wise, if such a thing makes sense. So yeah, the cutscenes and all that cinematics are kind of short. Personally, I kind of wish they'd go longer. They'd be a bit longer. And of course, I can see the PC fanboys in comments saying, "Oh, PlayStation fanboy only cares about story and cutscenes, not gameplay." But I'm actually more of a gameplay person, and my favourite platform is PlayStation, so that says something. Anyway, though, yeah, I do wish they were a little bit longer, just to add a bit more depth, I guess you could say, but they are pretty decent. The acting is, sometimes it's questionable, and other times it's quite okay. I mean, it's not like God of War Ragnarok levels of performance, but it's okay. And the chemistry between the characters is actually pretty good, or at least in my opinion. The chemistry between the characters and the actors is actually quite good actually. So at least that is something as well. Now, it follows the same sort of premise of Heat, where you can race during the day and the night. Now, however, though, you earn nowhere near as much as you do in Heat during the day. But of course, with Heat during the day, you earn money like up to 20,000, 50,000, so on. And during the night is where you earn your rep to level up. Now, in Unbound, you actually can race for money both day and night. And it goes across the course of about 4 weeks when the story actually picks up. And you earn money and all that sort of stuff. And also, which I actually find a good attention to detail, and also it's to do with gameplay, is that your heat from the day carries through to the night, which actually does kind of make sense, because it's not like in real life each time you enter a safe house or whatever it is, the cops will just instantly forget about you. So it actually does kind of make some sense in a way, but of course it does reset at the start of the next day. So you race throughout this week, so Monday night, Tuesday night onwards, all the way through to the end of a week, and then you have a qualifier in which you have to place sixth, then third, then first to make it to the next qualifier and all that. And you have to do a buy-in, which in other words you have to pay them, the other characters, or something like that, a certain amount of money to be able to get into the qualifier and even other races. But with the qualifier, if you don't reach that money, you basically get sent back in time to the day before, and you can make up that money, and also give you a good opportunity to upgrade to keep racing for more money, to upgrade your cars and all that, should you need to, because you have to meet certain requirements as well, and maybe even buy some more cars if you want to. And also, it also has both in the game in general, both single and multiplayer, there is a decent variety of content to do. There's new sorts of events. There's a takeover, which is actually a drift event where you have to beat the others to a certain score. Well, you have to beat the others' score as such. But the one thing I find weird about it is that you're drifting in mud and dirt. I mean, that'd be okay for a variation here and there, but every single time, it's not exactly something that we want to do. Like, Need for Speed Heat did it quite good with actually on the road, and there was, I think, like a few variations where you had to have an off-road vehicle, but that's about it. And of course, Need for Speed Heat ruined off-road, personally for me, but it was just nothingness. It's hard to explain. But in this, there's literally no use for it. There's no off-road events. They took that out, which I do find a bit of a shame. But if they were to leave them in, I would have hoped they would have made it better than bloody Heat. That was just ridiculous. Anyway, so yeah. So the story, I don't know, it's sort of the same on par with Heat, where it's just meh. Well, not meh, it's okay. Payback had an alright story. Yeah, whatever. And all that. And also in other events, you have to do vehicle deliveries, where you get to test drive these customized cars, these already customized cars, such as a Lamborghini Aventador with a Liberty Walk breaker on it, a supercharged Buick Regal or whatever it's called, a green Ferrari, all that sort of stuff. And better yet is when you complete these events, you can unlock them to buy in multiplayer, and I think single player, but also multiplayer. And also any cars that you unlock in single player, you can use in multiplayer. So you can win cars during the week, and also you win a car when you win each qualifier. And then they become available in your garage in the Lakeshore Online on multiplayer as well. Which I actually think is good, saving having to buy them again and again and stuff like that. And of course you can customize them to make them look different if you want to, or sell them, or leave them the same or whatever. It's up to you, but it sort of does mean that you don't have to save up and fork up for cars as much and all that. So I think that's a pretty decent thing to do. Now, this is surprisingly it's made by when it comes to the fact that Criterion made this game, I have a feeling they just slapped the logo on there. Just because they slapped the logo on there and stuff like that, because it doesn't seem like a normal. It's completely different to any other Criterion game, like the Hot Pursuit remake and Most Wanted remake, if you can call it a remake, where they had no customization, and then this one there is. So it's kind of unlike them. So I have a feeling that they didn't make it. I feel like they just slapped the logo on there for marketing and called it a day. I'm just kidding. That is a joke. Criterion did make it, and that's why I'm so surprised how we went from no customization, besides changing colour, to outrageous stuff like a stock car, a Ford Crown Victoria that looks like a NASCAR, and a lowered Land Rover Defender, and a pretty much a convertible Silvia, and a R35 GTR with exhausts, and it looks like something out of Hot Wheels with exhausts sticking out of the bonnet and stuff like that. Really cool stuff. It's pretty outrageous, but cool. Now the whole joke of me saying that I don't believe that Criterion made it, that is a reference to the fact that the PC fanboy Griffin Gaming thought that Treyarch didn't make the Zombies mode for Vanguard because it's different to their other Zombies mode, and I just wanted to take the piss out of that because that is absolutely stupid. Anyway, now onto multiplayer. Multiplayer is, as you would expect, supposedly this time they made it completely separate to online, sort of like with Payback. Unlike Heat, where you could play the story online with other players, or single player with other players, this one, the single and multiplayer are completely separate. and it has a cross progression sort of thing where if you smash like break collectibles like these inflatable bears and billboards and stuff like that, that also counts towards that same progression in single player, and vice versa. And once again, as I mentioned before, any cars that you win in single player is instantly available in your garage in multiplayer. And once again, you can either sell them or customize them differently, or just keep them the way they are. And yeah, now multiplayer so far is a bit bound. There's still a fair bit of content there. Kind of. There's the collectibles, there's the activities such as speed cameras, drift zones, which is what the takeovers should be, and yeah, and they have some of the races, but they have them in playlists, which is pretty much like the qualifiers, where it's a set of 3 races and all that. And the same thing with multiplayer, but you do it with other players and all that. So far, there's still a fair bit of content, but at the same time, it's starting to kind of lose its charm, I guess you could say. But it's taken this long, unlike Modern Warfare 2, which started dying in like a couple of weeks. Yeah, anywho. But yeah, and they have confirmed that in January, literally pretty much 1 month after launch, they already have content on the way. New cars, new tracks, new races, same sort of thing. New customization items, I think character customization items, and a whole of, and I think a few other things I don't remember. If I heard correctly, if the rumors are true, I heard that it's pretty much they're adding like 15 new cars, 25 new tracks, and like 40 new customization items, as if there wasn't enough content already, and they're adding so much more stuff. But once again, the fact that there's gonna be like this many cars added, I just said, it's just a rumor. But they definitely did say officially that more content is on the way in January. So new cars, tracks, customization items, and whatnot. So yeah. So pretty much, yeah, this game, I do sort of prefer Heat a bit more in certain ways. But yeah, and also another thing I got to mention is the cars. Some people have said that the drifting is clanky and stuff like that, but I mean, some cars, I think it just depends on how you tune the car, I think. Others it might be that yes, the drifting, that the mechanics are clunky, but for me, it sort of just comes down to how the car is tuned, whether it has more sensitive or less sensitive steering, and whether it's tuned to be more so of a grip build than a drift build and all that sort of stuff. And but the CarPlay, the quote-unquote CarPlay, because Call of Duty and Battlefield would have quote-unquote gunplay, I guess you could say Forza, Need for Speed and whatnot have quote-unquote CarPlay, is actually very satisfying, with drifting and like taking out other races or cop cars, and you feel that burst nitrous, and then you press it, and then it has those anime effects. So that it is insanely satisfying, I must say. And to think that I wasn't really interested in these was quote unquote being called anime effects, quote unquote. And I have a bit of a wide berth for anime, but they're not really anime effects really, they're more so cartoon effects. And they're actually really satisfying to execute. At least there's 3 bars. So you fill the first bar, it lets out a short burst of nitrous, followed by your standard nitrous, which is a classic nitrous where you press and hold it and have it go for as long as you want, compared to Heat where you press it once and you have like different tanks and stuff like that. What else? Yeah, so you fill 1 bar and then there's the effect on the car, and then the second bar, it then has the wings, the effect on the car, and then the wings or whatever it is at the side. And then the third bar is the same thing, but there's like scribble graffiti filling in the wings, and it gives you even more of a burst of nitrous, and of course it lasts longer because it uses up all 3 bars. And it is the CarPlay followed by the drifting and doing all that stuff to fill up that bar. It is insanely satisfying to execute. I think it's more satisfying than the quote unquote gunplay. The CarPlay and all that sort of stuff in Unbound is I personally find way more satisfying than the gunplay and all that in Modern Warfare 2. Although admittedly that is also very satisfying as well. But this is somehow even more satisfying to just be. And the sense of speed in this game is absolutely incredible, actually. You could be saying I'm shilling for Need for Speed, but I'm just saying what I personally think. The sense of speed in this game is insanely incredible. You're just flying down. You can literally buy a 1976 Golf and fully tune it up to the S Plus class or tier or whatever it's called, and you can just fly down the road and racing on it. And some of these races, especially even online, can get so intense. It is just a ton of fun and very addicting, I must say. This is what Need for Speed is about. Hence the name, Need for Speed. You just flaunt it down the road alongside the races, the cops on your tail, you're drifting through side streets and all that. You're almost a 1-2 finish to finish on, which actually did happen to me a couple of times, both in single and multiplayer. It just gets so intense, and it's so satisfying to just pull off the 3-bar boost thing, and whether you're doing an air or drifting or take down another racer or a cop car, and it is a ton of fun. I cannot describe it. It is so fun. So this is actually my favourite game of the year. I mean, Elden Ring and God of Ragnarok are still good, and I still love those games, but this is Need for Speed, and I've known Need for Speed. I've been a fan of Need for Speed since I was 11, 12, and I didn't start becoming interested in Call of Duty and Elden Ring until this year. Of course, the Elden Ring came out this year, and Call of Duty, yeah, you get the idea. So, yeah, this is definitely my favourite game of the year, subjectively. So, yeah, that is my review of Need for Speed Unbound. So I would recommend buying it if you want to. So, yeah, so thank you for watching. This is a pretty long video, so yeah, thank you for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to. Just stay tuned for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.